Always nice to get back to Senecaville. I had a chance to visit several of my relatives here while I was waiting for the crowd to assemble, and it's always pleasant to come home, and certainly always pleasant to come here. There are so many wonderful memories of Memorial Day in Senecaville, Ohio. I mean, I remember as a kid, and of course this is right after World War II, so this community was packed with veterans. And also some Korean veterans also at that time coming back from Korea. So it was a time when there were many veterans in the community, and this parade in Senecaville, I mean, the memories of it were so exhilarating. The streets would be packed. People would come in from Brownsville, surrounding communities, over in Greenwood. Main Street would be full of people, and we would have 40 or 50 local veterans marching up Main Street. And believe me, if you were raised in this community, you had a parent who got you by the ear and pulled you up there to the square, and you watched the events, and you participated in Memorial Day services here in Senecaville, Ohio. And I'll tell you, looking back, I am so thankful, I guess, to have the parents I had and to be raised in the community I was raised in. You were taught good values, you were taught love of country, and you were taught patriotism. And I don't think you can ask more out of a community as somebody young growing up to give to you, to give those things. To each of you today, thank you for coming out. I mean, this is the 2016 Memorial Day service in Senecaville, Ohio. There's been many, many before this one, but this one is especially important because you're here, and we are here to talk about remembering those folks who died for this country and gave their lives. I want to mention, before the color guard has to move on to the next community, that we are so fortunate in this community to have the individuals and the organizations that year after year in towns across this community organize and conduct ceremonies to honor those who've died in service to this great nation. I mean, this group of gentlemen behind us, they've been to Cambridge this morning, they've been to Cumberland this morning, they've been to Buffalo this morning, they're here in Senecaville this morning, and they're going to Byesville when they leave here. So please, a round of applause for these guys back here who do this every year, every day. And it doesn't stop here. I mean, these are the groups, these are the people, the DAV, the VFW, the Legion, the color guard, the gentlemen here. They decorate the graves every year. They organize the parades. They conduct the ceremonies. They go into our schools all over this community. They conduct the burial services of those who have served in the military. And they do 1,001 other functions to advance the patriotic principles and to make sure, remember those who have served and died for this great nation. So to them, I say thank you once more. Mr. Gibson, whenever you feel you need to leave, please do that, but I wanted to offer you my appreciation for all that you guys do. Thank you. So today, here we stand, and it's a very special day today. It's one that is dedicated to a very, very special group of individuals. It is a day specifically established for each of us to be able to demonstrate our appreciation to those who died in service to this great nation. More than any other day, we are made aware that maintaining liberty, maintaining freedom, and the principles we cherish in this country have and never will be an easy price to pay. It is a large price tag. Today is a day of mourning. It is a day of memorializing, but it's also a day that connects Americans to our history and to its core values. It makes us think of individuals who have made the ultimate sacrifice, their families who lost these very special men and women, and to reflect on the values and ideals that they held so close to them that they were willing to give their lives up for the preservation of this nation. As I mentioned, I was walking around here this morning, and I only say this by way of having a personal connection to those very special people. I have an uncle just up the way here, and he was my dad's brother, a Marine corporal, died 23 years old. And I remember, the reason I bring this up is I remember the reverence and the sympathies, but also the sense of loss that was experienced by my dad and his brothers and his parents. But also in that same sense of loss was a huge sense of pride. They worshiped this young man for what he did for this country, and he held a special place in that family for as long as I can remember. But today here we honor more than 1 million over those people who died in service to this nation in all wars and conflicts since the colonial soldiers first took up arms in 1775 to fight for independence. In Guernsey County alone, and these are figures I was given, but only they had them only recorded since World War I. In Guernsey County, 152 individuals in World War I. In Korea, 25. In Vietnam, 15. And I don't think that we have lost any, at least according to my source, that we have lost any in the most recent combat experiences we've had in the Gulf War, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Now, I hope that is true, but that's what I was told. So today, Memorial Day, is dedicated as a day of remembrance, and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, but it is not a salute to the past alone. We do little credit to those we honor today if our efforts end with only memorializing their great sacrifice. To give full credit to their supreme act, we, the living, must rededicate ourselves to the principles for which they fought and died. We have gathered today to recognize, to remember, and praise those who gave their lives for this country. But our obligations to them surely don't end there. It only begins. If we are to fully fulfill our obligations to them, we must advance the principles and preserve the values that make this country strong. We, the living, those of us here, must continue to defend, advance, and improve on the system of government that they died for, if we are to fully meet our responsibilities to them. Honoring those folks who have died will have very little lasting value if we do not work every day to carry into the future the system of government that those individuals died to preserve. So I ask each of you to leave here today as living examples to others. Be a flag waver, salute the colors, stand and sing the national anthem when you have the opportunity, defend our system against its critics, and most of all, be proud to be an American. Let us talk and act in ways that strengthen our country and ensure that the bearers of our future, the children, learn from our activities. To do less would fall far short of our real obligations to those we honor today. Let us work every moment of every day to advance these important principles. If we march into the future with a renewed commitment to America and vow to remember the sacrifices of those who came before us, we can rest comfortably that we have met our obligations to those who have died for this great nation. On the first Memorial Day in 1868, General James Garfield expressed in eloquent terms the gratitude of a grateful nation when he said, "We do not know one promise these men made, one pledge they gave, one word they spoke, but we do know they summed up and perfected by one supreme act the highest virtues of men and citizens. For love of country, they accepted death and made immortal their patriotism and virtue." Today, here in Senecaville, 150 years later, those words are as true and meaningful as the day they were spoken. So again, I say to everybody, thank you for inviting me today, allowing me to be part of this Memorial Day ceremony here in my hometown. And I also want to thank of course, the Meadowbrook Band. I mentioned what the Collar Guard does every year for the communities and that they participate in, and the Meadowbrook Band is out there at every one of those events. Also, those young people committed, giving to each of the communities in the county. So anyway, happy Memorial Day. Go have fun with your families, but keep in mind the reason for the day and enjoy yourselves. Thank you.